Welcome to this segment of Political Common Sense for America. I'm your host, Brian Boeheim, the political engineer. And now we have a very special guest. We have Representative Debbie Riddle from the 150th District of Texas. Representative Riddle is in the process of putting together a bill and refining a bill that, in some people are suggesting it's similar to the Arizona SB 1070 bill, but in listening and reading about it, it's a little bit more, because from what I'm getting is she's focused on purely the safety of the people of Texas. Debbie, are you there?
Yes, I am, and you're absolutely right, Brian. My bill I introduced last session. This isn't new for me. I've been working on this issue since 2003 when I was first elected. But this last session was House Bill 49. You can pull it up on the computer. You can take a look at it. And my focus is the safety and security for the people of Texas. You've probably heard me say over and over, Brian, that as an elected official here in Texas, as a state rep here, my number one priority is to make sure that the safety and security of the people of Texas is well established. And if I don't do that, and if I don't do that well, there is no number two priority. Everything hinges off of that.
You've got like 9,000 or 10,000 illegals in your prisons. You've got over 1 million illegal or undocumented people in your state right now, and that's got to be just sucking the lifeblood out of the state.
It is, but the real lifeblood, the kind that's red and falls on the ground when you get hurt, that's the blood that I'm also very, very concerned about, because you see the violence on our border is horrific. The drug cartels, the human trafficking, the gangs, the fear. People on the very far left liberal side, they say, well, with the, undocumented workers, and I've declared war on political correctness. I'm sorry, Brian, I'm not politically correct. I'm going to call a spade a spade. When someone is here and they're not here legally, then they are an illegal alien. That is a term that's not offensive. That's a legal term. Or, maybe a little more politely, is illegal immigrant. But the fact is, they are not here legally. We need to fix the system here. That's federal, so that folks can come into Texas and work, because not everybody that comes in is a criminal and is part of a drug cartel or something like that. We
Right.
want the folks to come in to be able to have the jobs, and they need to be able to go back home and not get stuck here. And for those that want to become citizens, good American citizens, learn the English language, have a job, be a taxpayer, be an American, then we welcome that, because we are a country of immigrants, for crying out loud.
Part of, I think, what happens and has happened is we've gotten this Pollyanna view, or this picture drawn of this family of immigrants who are suffering and they're hungry, when the reality is a significant portion, and my estimate right now is about 20 to 30% of these illegal immigrants are literally criminals. They are gangbangers, they are drug traffickers, they are human traffickers. These are bad people. I had an estimate that there's almost 2,000 sexual predators that have entered Texas in the last 10 years from the border. And
at the very least. But the OTMs are something else as well. The OTMs, are you familiar with that term?
No, I'm not.
Okay. OTM, that is a term that is used. It's a legal term. It means other than Mexican. It's not a disrespectful term. We've had over 100,000 OTMs come over. That's other than Mexicans coming over. Those OTMs come from other countries other than Mexico, and they're coming from Iraq, Iran, Pakistan.
We did an article and a news piece just recently on the fact that 300 national Chinese were caught at the border. And so and when they were questioned, part of it was it's so much cheaper for them to come through that way than trying to come the alternative way. Is like $30,000 cheaper. Well, when we create an avenue like that, it just opens up the possibility of terrorist activity coming across the border so much easier than any other way. And I think
that gets back to the safety and security.
Right.
The number one thing, we are a sovereign nation. We're a sovereign nation. When are we going to have the guts to stand up and tell all of the other countries in the world that expect us to respect their sovereignty? They need to respect our sovereignty. Yes, we may have some work to do on our immigration policy and bills. Amnesty is not one of them. But yes, there is some work that we need to do. But I am offended. I am offended at having President Calderon stand on the White House ground and lecture us about what our citizens in Arizona or anywhere else in the United States, the decisions that those legislators have made in order to protect their citizens. Calderon's responsibility is to protect and make sure the safety and security of the people of his nation is safe and secure, and he's not doing that. There's so much corruption. There's so many problems in Mexico. I dare him, how dare him come over here and lecture us, and how dare President Obama go along with that and criticize his own people in his own country, Americans, for doing the job that the feds have failed on and haven't done. In Texas, we wouldn't be having this conversation if the feds had done their job, but they haven't done their job. And so we're having to do it. And it's wrong for the president to come over here and lecture us, the president from Mexico come over here and lecture us. There's not another country in the world, where you don't have, if you're in Greece or Israel or Mexico or Venezuela or Canada, I don't care where you are, you can't be there illegally.
And even if you are there legally, you have to carry your papers with you all the time. But as your bill, I believe, as you're proposing it, will look at the fact that when there is suspicion, there's nothing wrong with requesting identification and valid identification. It makes all the sense in the world.
Actually, it is much, much weaker than the federal law. Even the Arizona law is much weaker than the federal law, because the feds don't have to have reasonable suspicion that you are violating a crime.
Yeah, part of the problem right now is the federal government is not fulfilling their obligation based on the law. They're not doing what they should be doing. I want to just, I know we're coming close to the end here. I just want to ask you one more question. I'm seeing all these little pop-up articles in the media and these news things where this poor little immigrant girl, she's almost done with college and she get arrested for this small violation, and now she's going to be deported. This other girl in San Francisco, she's going to go to Berkeley, but now she can't because she's illegal and she can't get a loan. I am questioning right now if these issues, if these media events aren't staged.
All of this is political. The Democrats know they're in trouble because the vast majority of the country is opposed to the socialism that they're trying to bring in, to the socialist mentality with health care, big government, small individual rights. They know that they're in trouble, and they believe that if they can frighten the Hispanic folks, if they can frighten those folks and those people enough that they will get out and just do whatever they tell them to do. I think they're wrong. I believe that the Hispanic people are smarter than that.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I personally am very aggravated with the fact that our political leaders are literally agitating racial discord right now for their own benefit and to try to drive voters down a path.
It's all political, but you know what? I predict it will not work because the Hispanic people as a whole are too smart to get sucked in by this propaganda that Obama is perpetuating and sending across this nation. I think it's criminal. I think it's treasonous. I think that what he is doing is absolutely wrong. But you know what? The American people are intelligent. The American people can see through all this smoke and mirrors. And the Hispanic people, I don't think are going to fall for it.
Well, I know you're on a tight schedule, and we've run out of time. Thank you very much, Representative Riddle, for coming on and giving us your perspective. You've been listening to Political Common Sense for America. I'm Brian Boeheim, the political engineer. And if you like what you're hearing here, don't forget to pick up my new book, Political Common Sense for America. You can find it at Amazon.com. See you next time. Be safe out there.